Today we find out if more people are assholes. Hey babes! Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I have another video reading r/am I the asshole stories for you. I love doing these type of videos. I love that you guys love watching these types of videos, so get your crochet and let's hop to it. But first, in case you are new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, sharing patterns that I love, showing off finished projects, challenging myself to see how many of a certain thing I can crochet in a allotted period of time, and sometimes reading r/am I the whole stories or even stories that you guys submit to me. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. Without further ado, let's hop right into these r/am I the asshole stories. This first one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Crochet for Family? Let's see. This might seem silly to you all, but this has led to a very real and aggressive argument with my mother. I, 24 female, have recently taught myself how to crochet. When beginning, I was afraid to tell my mother as I knew she would underestimate how time-consuming and tedious it is and would start promising family members crocheted projects on my behalf. Lo and behold, she promised my brother a hat and scarf. Fine, he's my brother. But the item in question is she promised my aunt a set of nettled fruit bags and then told me. Where I might be the asshole, I could do them. They are not overly complicated and I just finished a set for myself. But they are time consuming and I simply don't want to. I have already had to put a cardigan I was making for myself on hold to make the hat and scarf mentioned earlier. I do not want to delay myself any further. I know this may be selfish of me and I could just make the bags to make everybody happy, but I don't like that she is promising out my skills and free time out to others without consulting me. I am choosing this hill to die on. So am I the asshole? No. What's our catchphrase on this channel, babes? Not everybody in your life deserves a crocheted gift. I feel like we could make this into a little jingle at this point. People are not entitled to your time, your skills, nothing like that, especially if you are not getting compensated for it. Like you said, you already had to put on hold something that you've been looking forward to making yourself, and you haven't been able to do that because, you know, you had to put stuff to the side. You had to just like work on something that was promised to somebody. You didn't even offer to do that. They just said like, oh yeah, she can make it for you, and you know, whatever, it was your brother, so you decided okay, fine. But like, no, that's not how this works. And I think you need to have a discussion with your mom and tell her, hey, stop doing that. You're 24 years old also, like you're a full grown adult, and I know, like, I understand being a recovering people pleaser. It can be hard to tell people, like, to put them in check or like to tell them no, but truthfully, that's what you need to do in order to not spread yourself so thin and to keep delaying these things that you want to do for yourself. But let's see what other people have to say. This one says, not the asshole, but send your mother a crochet hook and a couple balls of cotton. Add a note. This is for Aunt X's fruit bags. Enjoy! This one says, not the asshole. Tell her no. Crocheting is a labor of love and is not something someone else should volunteer you to do. I also crochet, just Afghan blankets, but I tell everyone no. The only people who ever get them from me are the people I want to make one for who haven't asked. Basically, yeah, I'm on the same boat. This one says, nope, not the asshole. They will turn a hobby you enjoy into a chore. Each time you give in, there will be 2 more requests. Draw a line now. If she wants hand crocheted items, she can learn to do it herself. My older sister pulled this crap. I learned to knit so I could make hand knit items for myself and gifts for loved ones of my choosing. She pretty much demanded a hand knit wardrobe and would try to take something of mine saying, you could just make another one. Why does your mom think she owns your free time, not to mention the money and materials? Yeah, a lot goes into handmade crafts, whether it is knitting or crocheting or literally anything, making beaded bracelets, anything, and nobody is entitled to that, especially not for free. Not the asshole. Next story. This next one is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my coworker I don't need to stop crocheting while on break because they're there? This is my first time posting. Sorry about the long post, but I need to get some different point of views on this, and plus, sorry in advance, I am not a great speller. Sorry if there are mistakes. I, 20 female, started crocheting again after a year's break. I'm bringing my projects to work and only crochet on my lunch or rest breaks, and I have been doing this for about 2 weeks now. Sometimes our lunch breaks line up with each other, and most of the time everyone is on their phone or in their own place. I'm usually crocheting and listening to a podcast or watching a video with my earphones in. And if someone wants to talk to me, I put my project down and take my earphones out. But if they don't, I'm working on my project. I have one coworker, Mary, not her real name, mid-60s female. About 2 days ago, she came into the break room and I was already there and I'm crocheting. When I saw her, I said hi and smiled and then went back to my project. She sat down and was on her phone. About 10 minutes go by and I feel a tap on my shoulder. I look up and I saw Mary, so I stopped crocheting and paused what I was listening to. I asked Mary what was up, and she said it was rude to be crocheting while she was there. Oh my god, here we freaking go again. I'm surprised that she's basically always on her phone and watching videos without earphones so I can hear what she's watching, usually Facebook Reels. I apologized but said I'm not stopping crocheting on my lunch breaks because she's there. She got mad and complained to my manager about me. My manager told me that I am allowed to crochet on my breaks, but I should be more aware of how rude it can be to others. Some of my other coworkers are on my side and others see Mary's view. I have been staying away from Mary at the moment, but I don't know. So am I the asshole? What a stupid freaking story. Like, not that the person who wrote the story is stupid, but like, how the hell is it rude? Oh my gosh, you know what? This gives me a flashback. I had a job for like, actually it was like right when the pandemic hit. I got this job because I had just moved out of my mom's and I moved into this apartment with my man. I knew I needed something full time, and what I was working at that moment had been part-time or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to swing it on part-time, so let me find a full-time position. Okay, so anyways, I went and I got another job, whatever. Okay, I feel like that backstory was unnecessary, but I ended up getting this job, and it was exactly like the same position technically as what I was doing before, but it was just full-time now and with a different company. And when I tell you, every single time I drive past this company, when I'm like driving down the road or whatever, I literally flip the building off. So here's what happened. It was like a local place. Like, people outside of my county don't have this. But I was there and I remember it was during the pandemic, so like we did not get a lot of customers coming in, like really at all. I feel like I could probably count on both hands the amount of customers that came in a day. It was kind of bad. And I was there from March 2020 to June 2020. And I remember like I would kind of like look, and I was the new girl, so I didn't really know like what, I was cool with everybody in a sense of like I was polite and stuff, but I didn't like really know anybody like that. All I know is that people would just be sitting at their desks on their phones. So I'm like, okay, like that's what we do when we don't have customers. We can just sit and be on our phones or like scrolling the internet on like the computers, like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, well, I want to do something more productive than that. So I take my crochet with me to work, and I'm sitting at my desk and I'm crocheting, and the stupid bitch ass manager, and you know what? I don't say that lightly. She was a bitch ass manager. I hate her. I hate her. And that's a strong word, I know, but I hate her. I hope she got fired. But anyway, she fucking walked right up to me. Oh, by the way, this isn't the reason that I hate her, but like it doesn't help. I remember she walked up to me like I was a fucking toddler, and she told me, you can do that on your lunch or your breaks, but you need to put that away while you're here at your desk. And I'm thinking, what the hell is the difference between me being here crocheting than like one of these other girls sitting here on their phone? Like, if anything, I feel like it looks less professional, It looks less professional, or shall I say more unprofessional, to be sitting there on your phone if like a customer walks in. I don't know. Whatever, we don't have to get into that, but if you guys want a full story time on the reason that I actually hate that bitch, let me know. Maybe I'll tell it one day. But the point is, there's literally no difference in sitting on your phone watching a video than like sitting and crocheting or whatever. Basically, everybody is doing their own thing. So why is it rude for you to be crocheting while she's there? Like, what? It's not like what? It's not like you guys are sitting and watching like something together and then she's like, well, why aren't you paying attention? Like this is dumb. This feels stupid. And I also I feel like, well, your manager was probably just trying to be like a neutral party by telling you like, oh, you should probably be more aware of like whatever. But no, you're not an asshole for that. And this lady needs to get a grip and get over herself, because she's not entitled to your time while you're on your mandated lunch break or your break. Stupid. But let's see what other people have to say. This one says, not the asshole. Mary totally is though. crocheting on your break being rude is bullshit. I would go back to your manager and push back a little. Why would crocheting specifically be ruder than listening to something on your phone / having headphones in or whatever? The only thing I can imagine being an issue is that the movement is distracting, in which case Mary can sit facing in another direction where your crochet is not in her direct line of sight. I would also point out the fact that she is playing her own stuff over her phone speakers, which is distracting you unless you have your earphones in. I crochet and tend to take easy stuff into work where I don't have to concentrate too hard on counting, which means I can talk and crochet at the same time. Normally, if people talk to me about it, they're expressing an interest, not telling me off about it. I suspect Mary is jealous that you can crochet and she can't. And given the sheer volume of free stuff out there to learn from, YouTube, patterns, how-to, text sites, etc., that is her problem and none of yours. This one says, not the asshole. Your breaks are for you to have a break. If crocheting is what you need to do in order to feel refreshed, then you should be allowed to do it without being made to feel bad about it. Exactly. You do not get to tell me what I get to do in this break room, okay? Unless I am being like a complete nuisance to somebody, or I'm doing something illegal or like against policy, like drinking on the job or something. Like, come on. There is an edit. It says, edit. Thank you everyone for being so nice and giving some advice on my problem. To give a little background, Mary and I started / joined working basically on the same day. We have been here for around 2 months now. Mary is an okay coworker most of the time, but she can be a bit old-fashioned. Well, yeah, isn't she like 40 years older than you? That's crazy. I'm a little bit socially awkward sometimes, but I do get along with mostly everyone I work with. The break room is pretty small. It has one big table with about 8 chairs. Most people on break at the same time would be around 3 to 5 people. But I rarely have the same break time as Mary, as we both work in the same area. Plus, when I'm listening to something, I always have it on low volume, and I always have one earphone out. The only time I put both earphones in is if someone is playing something from the phone speaker, which Mary was. I'm planning on speaking to my manager about this. I'll be working tomorrow with Mary, and I'll probably update if anything happens. Plus, crochet is quiet as it uses one hook, as knitting uses 2 needles and makes a clicking clacking sound. Plus, we work in a reception type of job. I hope this clears some things up. I'm working tomorrow with her, and there's a high chance that our breaks will line up together. So let's see how it goes, and I'll try to update you all. And there's an update. It says, update. This will probably be my only update. At work today, I was able to find my manager, who was also with the higher-ups, so I told them my side of the story and how I wish the manager handled it better. The manager apologizes to me. To be honest, I think she did it because the higher-ups were there. And later on at my lunch break, I was in the break room crocheting, and Mary walked in. Now, I didn't see what happened beforehand, but Mary apologized to me. Plus, just before I left work for the day, Mary's husband, let's call him Ian, also works at some place as a groundskeeper. He came up to me and apologized for his wife as well. What? But if she does try something like this again, I will go to the higher-ups. By the way, I still don't know why she thought it was rude, and I probably will never know. Thank you everyone for reading this. I think the world may never know, sweetheart. It's okay. I feel like if anything, Mary should be like impressed with you, because I don't know. I just, I make little jokes all the time about how like I'm a little grandma because I like crochet all the time, and that's just like what I find fun to do. And I just kind of feel like somebody around her age would like that, would be like, oh my gosh, what are you making today? I don't know. I've never had coworkers be like telling me that it's like rude to be like doing that, especially because when we're all on our breaks, we're not paying attention to each other, we're all like focused on our own thing. But I have had coworkers be like, oh my gosh, like what are you making today, like it's fun, it's cute, just ew. Mary's dumb. All right, the last story that we're going to read for today is titled, Am I the Asshole for Not Teaching My Friend to Crochet? For context, I, 19 female, crochet at markets with my friend, 18 female, who makes pottery. We share a booth at our local art fair every year to save money as we are both in college. We do this every year so she knows what I make. The problem started when, after this year's art fair, she came to me and asked for help to learn. At first I said yes because I don't have any other crochet friends. She seemed excited to learn, so I didn't think much of it. But then she started sending me pictures of patterns she had bought to sell at the art fair, and lo and behold, they were the exact same patterns that I make for the art fair year after year. I tried to talk to her about it, and her only response was that since I'm the more advanced crocheter, I can make new stuff. According to her, she has claimed those projects for this year, and I can make something else. I actually didn't teach her to crochet yet, so I don't know why she's trying to claim patterns. She doesn't even know if she likes it yet. To wrap this up quickly, I told her I wasn't teaching her and if she wanted to learn to use YouTube. She called me a bunch of bad things I will not put here and told me I could pay for the art booth myself. Am I the asshole? No. You know, I'm not gonna lie, at first when I was reading this story, I thought that this was gonna be like a sort of a thing like she wants to make the same things that you make and so you didn't want to teach her because like you didn't, not necessarily like a jealousy thing, but kind of like you didn't want to teach her because, well, you didn't want her selling the same things as you basically. But as the story went on and the problem ended up being that she's claiming things that when she doesn't even know how to do it yet, and then calling you out of your name because you told her to like use other resources and that you weren't going to teach her. I think that she just like revealed her true colors to you and well, now you know you can cut her out of your life. And honestly, I hope you are able to pay for the art booth yourself. That'd be kind of a cool thing to go and like be more successful than you ever were with her, But as a young college student, I understand that's probably, very hard. But still, no, I don't think you're the asshole for that. That's kind of crazy. Let's see what people have to say. This one says, not the asshole. That is some entitlement. I'm going to learn your hobby and make exactly what you make for the exact event you use to make yourself a little money everywhere, and you're going to teach me to do it. Sheesh, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Exactly. And this one says, not the asshole. So your friend asked you to teach her to crochet to make your best-selling items so that she can directly compete with you while paying half of her booth rent? Is that correct? Yeah, that's kind of like weird. I just kind of feel like if she wasn't so like, if she wanted to make different things than you make, then I mean like, like who cares? And that'd probably be like a cute, like fun thing for you guys to do together. And like you said, you were open about it because you don't have any other crochet friends. And I feel like it would be a nice bonding experience. But I think she kind of ruined it for herself. And so, no, you're not the asshole. Not in my opinion. Oh my gosh, I've only been filming for 25 minutes. I zoomed through this one. So sorry it's a little bit on the shorter side, guys. But if you come across any interesting crafty related r/am I the asshole stories, feel free to send them my way. My email is always linked down below. As well as if you have any of your own crochet stories, whether they are crazy stories like r/am I the asshole, or whether they're cute, wholesome stories, funny stories, whatever you got, feel free to send them to me also. I do another series where I read subscriber stories, so those are super fun as well, and they cannot survive without your guys' submissions. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for being here as always. Always such a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Thank you for always leaving your lovely comments, subscribing. You guys are the best. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!